Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault Gaming video. Xvault here, and what I want to go over is this new, somewhat handheld, portable device, what's known as the PlayStation Portal. That's right, we do have a handheld coming out, but it's not quite the same thing as what you might be used to with any Nintendo handheld, or like the Vita or PSP, if you're familiar with that. So, without further ado, let's break this down, and let's jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is go over this PlayStation Portal device. What is it? Who's it for? Is it for you? Is it for everybody? Is it for a small niche group? And what functionalities does it truly have? So, breaking this down, I'm going to pull this via the PS blog right now. We'll read from that, and then we'll go over this in a little bit more detail here. But the PlayStation Portal Remote Player brings the PS5 experience to the palm of your hand. It includes the key features of the DualSense wireless controller, including adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. The vibrant 8-inch LCD screen is capable of 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second, providing a high-definition visual experience that's expected from the high-quality games created by world-class developers. PlayStation Portal is the perfect device for gamers and households where they might need to use and share their living room TV, or simply want to play PlayStation 5 games in another room of the house. PlayStation Portal will connect remotely to PS5 over Wi-Fi, so you'll be able to swiftly jump from playing on your PS5 to the PlayStation Portal. PlayStation Portal can also play supported games that are installed on your PS5 console and use the DualSense controller. It also includes a 3.5mm audio jack for wired audio. The PSVR 2 games, which require the headset, and games that are streamed through PlayStation Plus Premium's cloud streaming, are not supported, so keep that in mind. So, this will also supposedly launch later this year. No official date, but it is going to launch for the price of $199.99. So that's essentially what's going to happen there. They'll have more details soon, supposedly, about pre-ordering and all that good stuff there. Now, a lot of folks are disappointed that this little handheld is actually not like a PlayStation Portable, the PSP, or the PlayStation Vita. A couple things first, before we go over some more functionality here, is anybody that's truly going to try and jump into the handheld market again right now would be insane. It's just not going to work. You could have a successor and have a PS Vita 2 or whatever PlayStation wants to call it, or if Xbox jumped in there and really dedicated a handheld type of hybrid device or something as well, you're fighting a really uphill battle with the Nintendo Switch, which they're going to have their successor of the Switch 2, or whatever they end up calling it here, by 2024, with hard rumors stating that it will be launching in 2024. So, you have that against you, and then we have what? Something that's similar to this to a point, but a lot different, is the Backbone, which is made for Android and iPhone phones. Obviously, it's a little controller, asymmetrical, analog, stuff like that. You have a PlayStation branded version that does work with the phone, and yes, you can use it. Now, for example, me, I do have an S22 Plus, or is it an S23 Plus Ultra, or whatever, Ultra. So it's one of the bigger screens that you can get on a, mobile device, a phone, a cellular phone. And I do have the Backbone because I thought, well, let's try it out. Now, I think the Backbone's a great device. I think it's fun. It definitely is very utilized very well, and works very well for like Call of Duty Mobile, or, any other type of mobile game that would require a controller. It definitely helps in pinpoint accuracy rather than using touch screen the whole time. But it's still a small screen. You're losing a lot of fidelity when it comes to that. And now you're getting crisp stuff up to 120 frames per second, if not more, on your cell phone, depending on the type of cell phone you have. And you have the quality there. It's just the real estate on the screen, and you need a screen a decent size, and that's the biggest negative factor with the Backbone, right? Yes, it works with multiple different phones and such, but man, that real estate, that screen size, it makes it very difficult. You're always, whether you're squinting, and I don't wear glasses, and I don't have contacts, and I have great vision, so it's not like I just have vision problems. it's just very hard to keep track of, and it's just not as fun having that small of a screen. So I think bouncing back to the PlayStation Portal here is the fact that this screen is 8 inches, and I think that's a pretty decent size, all things considered. Of course, I haven't had my hands officially on this as of yet because I haven't been to any expo or anything like that. But from all the other stuff that you can look up and people's hands-on, I don't want to rip from their videos, but their hands-on, you can tell what this is, and it's feels good. You have that quality of adaptive triggers and everything. You have your symmetrical stuff if you don't want the asymmetrical type of controllers. You have your adaptive feedback and triggers and everything like that, like they did mention. Now, is this for you, though? Yes and no, right? It just depends. I know a lot of folks where they don't have 2 or 3 televisions in their house. They don't have 3 or 4 different PlayStation 5s in their house either. So, with that being said, this makes the most sense for that family. Doesn't matter if it's the husband, wife, partner, spouse, whoever that wants to do that, or even the child, right? You want to watch a series that you're waiting to watch, and they want to play something like, hey, here you go, so it's for that, or for, whoever, Mr. X, Mrs. X, that to utilize this while someone else needs to utilize the TV for something that's live. Football season's coming up. That's huge every time this time of year in the States. So, there's just a lot of opportunity for this because it's remote play. You can't just do whatever. Yes, you do need Wi-Fi connection, so you can't even utilize some sort of cellular service, which, in my opinion, even with 5G and such like that at this point in time, trying to cloud stream or remote play with that, it's really hit and miss. And I've done this a lot with my cell phone again, with the remote play, and it's not quite the same. Now, this is going to utilize another feature, just an FYI for you out there, called PlayStation Link. This is to minimize, and this is not quite Bluetooth, this is something else, some sort of other technology that they've implemented with these devices and the PlayStation 5, to where it has PlayStation Link is what they're branding it. Now, this allows this system to go ahead and utilize a super low latency mode on this. So you're not going to have any delayed issues, because on regular remote via the cloud or on my cell phone is not ideal, even with the backbone. You're going to have some issues there. I've even tried playing Overwatch 2 on there by streaming it with remote play with the backbone. And again, that real estate is an issue, and there's a little bit of a latency there. So I think this has a lot of opportunity. They are recommending to at least have 5 megabits of download speed, but to have the best experience, 15 megabits per second or higher. Now, if you are taking this on vacation, it will indeed work, but depending on the motel or hotel that you're going to be staying at, you may not have strong enough Wi-Fi, or it might be a little wonky. You may not be getting the best experience, but just depending. Now, if you're at a VRBO and those guys have fiber optic or something, and you're just chilling at night after you're done vacationing around for the long day, you want to hang out in bed or on the couch that they have there, I think this is fantastic. A lot of VRBO places have very high internet speeds, and VRBOs is a really cool way to vacation as opposed to a hotel and motel. Not that this video is about that, but if you have the opportunity to do so and the price is fair, or you're sharing that with other friends or family on vacation, that is an opportunity as well. And like I said, you're going to get that internet speed very adequate and then some. So overall, I think this is really cool for what it is. And again, the price I think is very fair, $199.99, because you're getting a DualSense controller, right? You're not chinsing out on it. It kind of looks weird altogether with it being spaced out. You got a tablet in the middle, right? But ultimately, you have a full DualSense. How much are those going for? If you get the white and black version or black and white version, you are paying anywhere from $64.99 to $69.99. The colored ones, I think even the black ones are that price too, but the colored ones like the camo, the red, the purple, those are all retailing for $74.99, if not higher, depending on where you're at. So that in itself knocks that down. You're getting a controller with it, right? So we'll just say $70. So $70 off of that, $120. What are you getting for $120? Well, you're getting this device on top of that you can play remote play with that special PlayStation Link, very low latency. gameplay there. So I think that's great. You're getting a great size screen and you're getting a lot of versatility with that. And like I said, I think the opportunity really comes up where you get to utilize this in a lot of different scenarios there. Like I said, sports are on TV. The husband doesn't want to. Maybe you want to play something yourself, or whoever, your lady's more into football than you are. I've seen it, or whoever is more into whatever sports, or they're just wanting to watch The Bachelor because they want to watch it live. And, you're sitting there not interested in The Bachelor or Bachelorette, and you can play this. Like I said, you may not have multiple TVs or multiple PlayStations in the household, or again, you might be on vacation or just traveling somewhere or visiting a friend somewhere, and they have adequate internet. This is your go-to. I think this is fantastic and a really good, smart idea. And again, I think it's very adequately priced for what you are getting. Again, I think those put a little too much hope into this when this was announced, even rumored of like, oh, man, I want a PSP or the next Vita. Why are we not getting that? Again, it's an uphill battle, right? It's just not going to work out. PlayStation's doing their thing with VR, and they're really doubling down on that because that market has only been kind of a niche market outside of it. And it's still trying to find a lot of footwork and ground to make up there and really make it a prominent piece of gaming. And it's really doing that job. So I think that's smart, but Nintendo just has such a grasp. And like I said, everybody and their dog has a cell phone. So again, you can play so many free games. You can remote play with it still if you choose to do so. But I think this is very smart to do. I'm interested to see what the sales are there. For me, myself, just for vacation purposes, maybe any other purposes, or if I'm visiting whoever, I like to game all the time as much as I can. So I think this makes sense for me, and it makes sense for all those families or friends or just living styles that I just mentioned before with the opportunity there if you don't have multiple TVs and PlayStations, right? So it makes a lot of sense to me. I know there's a lot of naysayers out there, and to each their own for sure. And again, some people that are the naysayers, it's not for you, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be for everybody, and it's not meant to be for everybody. It's a device where it's like, hey, here's an option. If you fit this criteria, here's your option. You're welcome. They didn't have to make this. We're not sitting there like, oh, bow to Sony. No, I'm just saying they didn't have to make this. Yes, they made it to make money. They're a business, of course. But it's also pretty cool that they decided to make that, I really do, because the more I had to sit there and think about it, this was, announced last week. It just really makes a lot of sense. And the more I can sit there and unpack it and be like, all right, because even at first with me, I was like, that's a little chintzy, a little chanky, not exactly what we were maybe looking for. But if you sit down and think about it, it just makes sense, So I'm just glad it's there, and I will definitely be picking it up. And I even have a backbone, but it just makes sense. I'm interested to see some hands-on actual reviews on how the latency is with certain speeds of internet and stuff like that. Because I think just having that more real estate on that screen just makes a lot of sense. And if you have a PlayStation 5 and then this works in internet, not a lot of people are going to sit there and, again, use cell phone data to game on the subway. And if you do, you're probably using your phone. You wouldn't be taking this 8-inch screen and then some with this controller hitched on each side. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Let me know down in the comments below if it makes sense to you or if you think it's a great idea. Again, I know a lot of you were hoping for another handheld device, but hopefully I explained enough as to why they didn't do that. And hopefully that makes some sense. It doesn't always heal the heart, because I know it kind of broke some of our hearts hoping that it would be a successor. But it just doesn't make sense in this day and age to try and break in that market right now and divulge those resources and money. So, but I would love to hear from you down below. And as always, I appreciate everybody's support. Definitely leave a like if you can, helping out that algorithm. And if you haven't yet, definitely consider subscribing. Want to reach that 1,000 goal as soon as possible so we can just continue to grow, build the channel, and do more and more. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and we will see you next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.